Hey guys, how's it going? Just up here now for a 1 kilometer trip. I'm gonna do short trips and I'm gonna get longer and longer each time, right? Rather than, try to overdo it all at one time. For the most part, I guess, like anyone, you knows how you feel, hey? So far, not too bad. I don't have any snowshoes or anything on. It's not a lot of snow down at 2 or 3 places, just maybe a foot or so, but for the most part, there's not that much. I don't mind getting a little bit winded sometimes, especially, walking through snow and sinking in snow and this sort of thing. That I don't mind. Because I don't think it matters, how good a shape you're in sometimes. This sort of thing can wear you out, that's for sure. But with that said, that was never the biggest issue. What happened to me there a while back, where I get this drain of energy because the low iron, my legs basically, were gone pretty well, just give out on me, right? But up Saturday, me and my son, and made a little trip there, and I didn't feel too bad actually. I intentionally, tried to beat myself out, kind of thing. Where at times, like, I'd almost go to a jog almost, right? And didn't bother me at all, right? So that's a good sign. I wouldn't. Oh, jumps. That's the kind of stuff that wears you out. But like I said, I walked in one place and walked out, and I'll break that off. Walked into we walked into our old bushcraft camp, and just had a little ball and walked out, and then walked in another place there, and I think overall, like in and out, roughly maybe 1.5 kilometers. And like I said, I didn't, when I got back to the car, actually I didn't even break a sweat, which is strange. So I'm gone roughly 1 kilometer here now, and I got my trail cam with me, so I'm going to put that one out again. Here's, I feel that's pretty good, I must say. Trail cam set up again there now. Gonna walk another little bit, I think, and I'm checking on the sign rabbits and that too now. It's a little bit hard to track them there now, but as you know, I was trying, before all this happened, I was trying to get a few rabbits for a few people, and snow ended up going, took up my snares, and all this happened, right? So kind of ruined all my plans, I guess. So while I'm here today now, I guess I'm just going to have a little look. If I see our track or anything, I'll probably put a snare there or something like that. I gotta sit down for a second and fix my socks. I got me rubber boots on because there's a lot of water in a few places, right, where it's been mauled and that. So I put my rubber boots on, but I don't have my soles in them. So they're a bit loose on my feet. But now my socks keep sliding down. No, I ain't jumping at it. They drive you nuts. If that's all I got to complain about, I guess it's not too bad, eh? Anyway, I got that fixed. Back on the go again, I guess. I had to switch over to my wireless mic here because I'm going to be turned away from the camera there a bit, so I'm going to put a snare back here. I did get a couple rabbits here, so I figured I might as well put one back in this spot. He did chew up the crossbar a little bit since I've had my snares up on it, so I said just well put one back here. So, just going to wrang the snare out of it now. Seen me do that before. Obviously, like I said in another video, I do that for 2 reasons. Helps get a little bit of scent off the snare, and that helps also like round out the snare. It makes it 10 times easier to set in. At least I find that anyway. So I know everyone has their little tricks and little ways of doing things. It's just one of those things that you always hear me say, whatever works, right? Let me get that camera down a little bit lower there. So you know how I got down here, I usually make 2 or 3 reps around the crossbar, and I usually leave about an inch and a half down from the crossbar, and 4.5 inches from the bottom of the snare down to the ground, right? So that's pretty well what I do every time. Usually about as big as my fist, and that's about it. So I've always been pretty consistent in how I sit my snare. Regards to the height from the ground to the bottom of the snare. The majority of trappers and that I've talked to, roughly around the same thing, 4.5 inches. And for me, yes, usually about the height of my hand, right? So I just use my hand for a guide for that, right? And same thing for the roundness of my snare. I just use my hand for a guide. So that way, like I said, it's pretty consistent in, the size and the height and that, right? But a couple important things that I always found was the height of the snare from the crossbar. Like I said there a minute ago, about an inch and a half. You want that little space down from your crossbar, and I always found it important to have it center of the gate, right? Makes a lot of difference, because if it's to one side, I've seen trail cam footage where the rabbit would come up to the snare and push it aside, right? You want to try to avoid that if at all possible. Of course, there's nothing guaranteed. One other thing you can do is just put a little stick, a little twig there like that, and what that does is help guide the rabbit's head up into the snare rather than his head going down and under you. You got a tendency to rise above that, right? For the most part, I haven't really seen a whole lot of difference having it there and not having it there. But it's just one of those things. Sometimes, if you're used to doing it, do it. And I don't think it really hurts or anything like that. So, like I said, sometimes I put it there, sometimes I don't, right? But anyway, just one snare, so hopefully I'll get a bunny. Alright guys, I got 3 snares sit there, so that's good enough for today. I didn't really plan on doing it today really, but I figured I might as well. As a job, I seen there was a couple places where there was a little bit of sawing there, so what I'll do is probably wait an extra day before I check on. Not tomorrow, but the next day, supposed to get like 1 centimeter or 2 centimeters of snow, so hopefully that'll get a few rabbits running and get a few tracks and see where they're going to. And then I'll put out, you know, a few more snares, right? And I'll probably leave those out then until you know, until the season closes, or you know, unless we get a big batch of snow before the season closes. And if that's the case, then well, you know, if I got to take them up again, that'll be it, right? So I'm hoping to snag a few now before that happens, right? Go back in the car here now. On my way back home. Boys, I got to say, there's on the last little stretch there's a couple of really steep grades to go up, right? And usually, like even before this happened, like coming up those steep grades, I probably have stopped, you know, to catch me breath and all that. But here's I went up to day number 1. Never had a hitch. Actually, they haven't felt so good in a long time, to be honest. You know, again, you know, I appreciate each and every one that reached out to me, you know, with all the, you know, best wishes, all this sort of thing, you know, that means a lot. I don't ever take none of that for granted, that's for sure, right? Really appreciate those things, right? So, but things are looking really good, so no worries there. So that's it for this video, guys. Appreciate you taking the time to watch, and I'll see you in the next one.